Imagine a world millions of years ago, where the land we now call Antarctica was nothing like the frozen desert we see today. Instead, it was a paradise of green forests, flowing rivers, and life flourishing under a warm sun. Picture towering trees swaying in the breeze, dinosaurs roaming across valleys, and birds filling the skies with song. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Because today, this same land is buried beneath miles of ice, silent, cold, and almost lifeless. So, what happened? How did a land full of warmth and life become the coldest, most isolated place on Earth? This is the story of a dramatic transformation that took place over millions of years, a story written in the rocks, the fossils, and the ice itself. It begins around 250 million years ago when Antarctica was part of a massive supercontinent called Gondwana. Back then, this continent was located much closer to the equator, and the climate was warm and humid. Thick forests covered the land, and giant rivers carried fresh water across fertile valleys. Fossil evidence tells us that dinosaurs, amphibians, and early mammals all lived here. Imagine standing in a lush forest in the heart of what we now call Antarctica, surrounded by giant tree ferns, colorful flowers, and strange creatures, with the sound of running water and birds filling the air. It feels impossible because today this land is buried under ice up to 3 miles thick, but back then, it was a completely different world. Over millions of years, the Earth's crust slowly began to shift. The supercontinent of Gondwana broke apart, and the landmasses we now know as South America, Africa, India, Australia, and Antarctica began to drift away from each other. Antarctica started moving south, inch by inch, on its journey toward the South Pole. At first, the changes were slow and subtle. The climate remained warm for millions of years, and life continued to thrive. But as the continent drifted farther south, the days grew shorter in winter, the temperatures began to drop, and the forests started to thin out. Life struggled to adapt to the cooling climate. Some animals migrated north toward warmer lands. Others adapted to the changing seasons, enduring long, dark winters followed by brief but intense summers. Around 34 million years ago, something dramatic happened. Global temperatures dropped sharply, and for the first time, large ice sheets began to form on Antarctica. Scientists believe this was triggered by a combination of factors: changes in ocean currents, shifts in Earth's orbit, and a decline in greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. As Antarctica became fully isolated by the powerful southern ocean currents, warm water from the tropics could no longer reach its shores. Cut off from the rest of the world, the continent grew colder and colder. Snow fell year after year, never fully melting, slowly piling up into massive ice sheets that covered mountains and valleys alike. The forests disappeared, the rivers froze, and the land became a desert of ice and wind. Fast forward millions of years, and Antarctica was transformed into the frozen world we see today. Beneath the ice, however, the land still holds secrets from its warmer past. Scientists drilling deep into the ice have discovered ancient pollen grains, fossilized plants, and even traces of microbes. Evidence that life once thrived here, and maybe, in some hidden places, it still does. Deep beneath the ice lies Lake Vostok, one of the largest subglacial lakes on Earth, sealed off from the surface for millions of years. In its dark, cold waters, life might still survive, isolated from the rest of the world since before humans even existed. What kind of organisms might be living there? Bacteria? Tiny animals? Something we've never seen before? No one knows for sure, but discoveries like these remind us that Antarctica is not just a frozen desert. It's a time capsule preserving secrets from Earth's distant past. Today, Antarctica is changing again. Rising global temperatures are melting glaciers at an alarming rate. Giant ice shelves are breaking off and drifting into the sea. Scientists warn that if all of Antarctica's ice were to melt, sea levels around the world could rise by more than 200 feet, flooding coastal cities and changing the face of our planet forever. This isn't just a story about the past, it's a warning about the future. The transformation of Antarctica shows how dramatically Earth's climate can change over time, and it reminds us how fragile our own world is. For most of its history, Antarctica was warm, green, and full of life. Then it became the coldest, driest, windiest place on Earth. Now, as humans burn fossil fuels and pump greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, the ice is melting faster than ever before. Will Antarctica one day return to its warmer state? What will happen to the ancient landscapes hidden beneath the ice? Could we one day walk again through valleys that haven't seen sunlight in millions of years? As scientists race to understand this frozen continent, one thing is clear: Antarctica's story is far from over. It is a story of change, survival, and mystery. It teaches us that nothing on Earth stays the same forever. Continents move. Climates shift. Life adapts or disappears. And as we look to the future, the fate of Antarctica is tied to our own. If we continue down the path of climate change, we may unleash forces we cannot control. But if we learn from the past, perhaps we can protect the fragile balance that makes life on Earth possible. So the next time you see a picture of Antarctica, remember that beneath that ice lies a lost world, a world that was once green and alive, a world that may hold secrets about our planet's past and its future. Antarctica's frozen silence speaks volumes, if only we are willing to listen. This is not just the story of a continent. It is the story of Earth itself, of change written across millions of years, of the rise and fall of climates, of the resilience of life, and the power of nature to transform our world in ways we can barely imagine. And as the winds howl across its icy plains and the glaciers crack and groan, Antarctica reminds us that nothing on this planet is permanent. Change will come, whether we are ready for it or not. So stay curious, stay aware, and remember that the frozen heart of our planet holds lessons for us all, lessons we must learn before it's too late. As the last chapter of Antarctica's frozen saga closed, the story of Earth's changing climate and the mysterious forces shaping this icy continent only deepened. The winds still howled across the frozen plains, but far beneath the surface, time continued to keep its secrets locked away. For centuries, humans have gazed at Antarctica as a symbol of the unknown, a place so remote, so hostile, that it seemed untouched by time itself. Yet, scientists now realize that this frozen land is far more dynamic than anyone imagined. Deep under the ice sheet lies a network of rivers and lakes, hidden for millions of years, slowly carving paths through the bedrock. These secret waterways carry clues about Antarctica's distant past and maybe even hints of its future. In recent decades, satellites have revealed something astonishing. Antarctica is not a solid, frozen mass, but a moving, breathing landscape. Massive ice streams slide toward the ocean like slow rivers of glass, shaping coastlines as they go. And then there is the mystery of the ancient mountains buried beneath the ice, the Gamburtsev Range. These mountains, taller than the Alps, have been hidden for over 30 million years. Scientists believe they once formed the heart of a thriving ecosystem before being swallowed by the growing ice sheets. What secrets might these frozen peaks hold? Fossils of creatures long extinct? Evidence of climates warmer than anything we know today? Each new discovery adds to the puzzle, reminding us that Antarctica is like a giant history book, written in ice instead of ink. Meanwhile, the world beyond Antarctica changes rapidly. Rising greenhouse gases, melting glaciers, and shifting weather patterns paint a picture of a planet in transition. Scientists warn that what happens in Antarctica will not stay in Antarctica. Its fate is tied to the entire world. As the ice melts, global sea levels rise. Cities along coastlines could face flooding on a scale we have never seen before. Millions of people may be displaced, economies disrupted, and ecosystems forever altered. Antarctica, once thought to be frozen and eternal, is now at the center of humanity's greatest challenge: climate change. But even as the ice retreats, life continues to surprise us. In pockets of warmth beneath the glaciers, strange organisms thrive. Some feed on minerals instead of sunlight, hinting at life's incredible ability to adapt. Could studying these organisms help us understand how life might exist on icy moons like Europa or Enceladus? Scientists think so. The connection between Earth's coldest continent and distant worlds in our solar system grows stronger every year. Antarctica becomes not just a window into Earth's past, but also a model for life beyond our planet. As research stations push deeper into the continent, using drones, submarines, and satellites, We are only beginning to uncover the layers of history frozen beneath our feet. Each core sample, each radar scan, reveals a story stretching back millions of years. What will we find next? Maybe evidence of ancient forests beneath the ice. Maybe proof that Antarctica was once home to large animals roaming through green valleys. Or perhaps something even stranger, signs of life forms we never imagined could exist. And as scientists work tirelessly in brutal conditions, enduring blizzards and darkness, one thing becomes clear: Antarctica is not just a frozen wasteland. It is a living laboratory, teaching us about survival, change, and the fragile balance of life on Earth. The story of this continent is also the story of human curiosity and courage. Decade after decade, explorers risked their lives to map its coasts, climb its peaks, and survive its endless winters. Some never returned, their names now etched in the legacy of exploration. Today, modern technology gives us tools those early explorers could only dream of: satellites orbiting overhead, AI analyzing climate data, autonomous submarines diving under ice shelves. Yet even with all this, Antarctica remains full of mysteries. The ice continues to crack, glaciers continue to slide, and ancient winds carry secrets across the frozen expanse. The more we learn, the more questions emerge. Was Antarctica once connected to other continents in ways we do not yet understand? Did life there evolve separately before the Ice Age sealed it away? How much will it change in the next 100 years? The future of Antarctica may depend on the choices humanity makes today. If warming continues, the ice sheets could retreat farther, exposing landscapes unseen for tens of millions of years. Rivers might flow again, lakes might fill with life, and the frozen silence could give way to rushing waters and growing forests. But this transformation comes with danger. The collapse of massive ice shelves could trigger sea level rise so dramatic that entire nations might vanish beneath the waves. Scientists warn that this is not a distant possibility but a risk unfolding before our eyes. Yet there is hope. International cooperation has made Antarctica a symbol of peace and science. No country owns it. Instead, it belongs to the world as a place of research and discovery. Treaties protect it from exploitation, preserving its fragile ecosystems. Perhaps this spirit of unity will help us face the challenges ahead. Just as explorers once crossed icy wastes together, humanity must now work together to protect not just Antarctica but the entire planet. As we look to the future, Antarctica stands as both a warning and an inspiration. A warning of what happens when climates shift dramatically, and an inspiration to explore, to learn, and to dream of a better world. The story of Antarctica does not end here. It stretches forward into the unknown, just as it reaches back into deep time. With every discovery, we write new chapters in the epic tale of Earth's southernmost continent. And somewhere beneath the ice, in the darkness and the cold, the land waits. For the next explorer, the next scientist, the next dreamer willing to ask the impossible question: what secrets still lie beneath the frozen heart of Antarctica?